The following is a rebroadcast of a past episode of Altherr and Pyle. Some of the material seen may have been edited out from its original broadcast. Altherr and Pyle is sponsored by Second Blessing Thrift Shop in downtown Tipton, a Christian faith-based nonprofit organization that exists to provide practical and spiritual support to the citizens of Tipton County, and by Quincy's Brass Band. For more information on how you can book them for your next event, go to www.quincy'sbrass.com. On this week's edition of Altherr and Pyle, Denny will be taking you inside the Hope Chest as he introduces you to the lady that got it all started. Plus, Jacob will sit down with fellow co-host and Tipton Tribune columnist Denny Altherr. And finally, the tables will get turned as Denny interviews Jacob Pyle. All that and more coming up right now on Altherr and Pyle. And now, coming to you live from our studios here in Tipton, Indiana, it's Altherr and Pyle. And here are your hosts on Altherr and Pyle, Denny Altherr and Jacob Pyle.
Hello everybody, welcome to the debut edition of Altherr and Pyle. I'm Jacob Pyle.
And I'm Denny Altherr. Altherr and Pyle is the name of our new show, and for good reason. Although this may sound like a newscast to all of you, it's way more than just a newscast.
That's right, it's a newscast with reports, jokes, people showing talents, and all kinds of other fun stuff. So stick around for that. But now, since this is our first show, I'd like you guys to get to know us real well. So in our first segment, I have the thrill and the opportunity to interview somebody who is a Tipton Tribune columnist and has worked on a local newscast long before the show was even born. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow co-host of Altherr and Pyle, Denny Altherr. Hey, Denny.
Hey, Jacob.
Okay. Before we get started here, Denny, tell the viewers out there a little bit about yourself.
Well, I live here in Tipton. I'm a Tipton High School graduate. I work for the Tipton Tribune. I supply columns for them, and I've done some work in television several years ago, back when Tipton had their own cable channel.
That's interesting. Now, before we get into this interview, I'm sure there are viewers out there that are too young to remember that local newscast you and Brett Kernut put together. Keep us refreshed and tell us about what that was like.
Well, Jacob, it was very interesting, to say the least. Brett Kernut had approached me, asking me if I would like to be a part of the television station, and which, I agreed to do. And I basically reported on the local stories here in town that we thought people might find of interest.
Well, that's interesting. Was there any particular moment about the newscast you guys put together that still stands out in your memory even to this day?
As far as like funny moments or something like that, it's been so long ago that I can't really think of anything that sticks out in my mind.
Now I've got to ask you, how does it feel to be back working on newscasts like this again?
It feels great. I really miss this kind of thing. It's something that I've always wanted to do, and now that the opportunity has arisen, I was glad to accept it, and I think I'm really going to enjoy it.
Good. Now, I know when I interviewed you before, you said something about going into further detail about news reporting. So go ahead real quick and tell us about how you are enthused about news reporting and stuff like that.
Well, Jacob, it goes back to when I was younger. I won't say how young. That's going to age myself. But it's been several years ago. I was out at our local 4-H fairgrounds, and one of the Tipton Tribune editors at the time had an office out there. And I just with nothing else to do at the time, I just wandered in there and just kind of wrote something up, just out of my head, and she went ahead and put it in the paper, and I think that's how the reporting bug bit me.
Now, how did you get your start in working for the Tipton Tribune?
Well, that was my idea. I had sent an email to our local editor asking if I could have the opportunity to do some stories, because like I said previously, that I had this passion for. And she said, well, submit something and we'll take it from there. And I've been doing it now since I believe it's been November of last year, maybe even before that.
Yeah. And finally, what advice would you give a young person, me especially, about putting together newscasts and doing stuff like that?
Well, Jacob, the advice I would give is to give it your all. Do the best that you can, and as long as you put forth your best effort and do the best you can, I'm sure it'll go off the ground with no problem.
All right, Denny Altherr, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Coming up, Denny Altherr will be introducing you to a lady who runs the Hope Chest. We'll have that for you when Altherr and Pyle returns.
I have a question for all of you. Do you know what a Goodwill store is? A Goodwill store is a place, thanks to local donators like you, sells all kinds of different odds and ends stuff. Well, we're going to introduce you to the Hope Chest at Heartland Church, which shares a similar premise, where everything you see here on the store shelves comes from local donators, and goes out to anyone here in Tipton County, free of charge. And here with us today to tell you more about it is our special guest, the founder of the Hope Chest, Bridget Perkins. Hey, Bridget. Let me just start off by asking, how long have you had the Hope Chest open for?
The Hope Chest has been in existence since approximately 1994.
Now, I'm just curious now, as those people are, but what stuff do you mostly sell here at the Hope Chest?
Well, as far as selling things at the Hope Chest, that's what's unique about us. We don't sell anything. We give everything away for free. Just like the basis of the love of Jesus, it's free to anyone who'll accept it. So that's how the idea came to me. We give everything away for free, and it comes in as a donation from the community and from our church family.
Now, how has God blessed you into having something like this available?
Well, that is a wonderful story. I used to do the church garage sales here when I first came to Heartland after a couple years, and I saw so much stuff left over, and even after we gave people $1 a bag chances, and I went to my pastor, William Salisbury, and asked him about using a small area in our church at the time that was the fellowship hall. And we started out in a tiny little room, and then God just continued to bless us with more and more donations. And as the church built our Family Life Center, then God gave us more ability to have more money, and then the church bought us these 2 mobile homes, and they put it together for us, and thus became the actual Hope Chest building, and we're just growing.
And finally, what would you say to someone who decides to open up a business like this?
Well, if you decide to do an outreach ministry like this, the first thing you need to do is pray about it because it takes much prayer and preparation, because it's a lot of work. You need volunteers. Know that it needs to be a God thing, not your thing, and that it will be something that takes a lot of your time and a lot of man hours, because the Hope Chest is something that we take in everything. except for pets and kids. That's what I tell people. We'll take anything. We offer household items. We offer shoes, clothing, books, movies, just about anything, furniture, bedding, anything you can imagine that you would get at perhaps a store similar to the Salvation Army or the Rescue Mission, one of those types of outreaches. We offer here at the Hope Chest for free. Well, we do take free will offerings that we use that money to help support our food pantry. So I would say go to your prayer closet and make sure that it's God's idea, not yours.
All right. Real briefly, before we go, give us a brief plug about the Hope Chest in case our viewers are wondering where it is or what times they're open, or what times do you take donations and stuff like that.
The Hope Chest is located at 3611 North State Road 19 behind Heartland Church, and we are open every Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. We are also open by appointment if you cannot come during that time, and then every third Saturday of the month we are open from 9 to noon. We also have a food pantry for Tipton County residents, which is called From the Heart Food Pantry, which is connected here to the Hope Chest. So the main thing to do if you have any questions is to either call the church, which is 765-675-2083, or you may call the outreach number, which is 765-513-0385. And just want to thank you for having me on the show.
Well, we're glad to have you. Thank you, Bridget, and thank you so much for all you do, and keep up the good work. By the way, Bridget also wants you to know that the drop-off center at the Hope Chest is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with surveillance cameras for your protection. For more information, call 765-513-0385.
Coming up, the tables get turned as Denny Altherr interviews Jacob Pyle. We'll have that for you when Altherr and Pyle returns.
Welcome back. Earlier in the show, Jacob has interviewed me, and you people out there had the opportunity to get to know me. But now we're going to turn the tables around as I get to interview Jacob Pyle. Now, real quick, as a disclaimer, neither I nor Jacob wrote down all the questions that we're about to ask him today. These were all questions sent in by you, the viewers. And I guess, if you're ready, Jacob, we'll begin. Now, I understand you did a newscast for a youth ministry you volunteered at. Tell us about that and how you decided to do that.
Well, Denny, the news, it just kind of came on to me. I think the very first year I hosted the Appreciation Day banquet for the youth ministry I volunteered at. I wanted to, I had an idea that ran in my mind one day about doing a video about the youth ministry. So I talked to our youth pastor about it, and she said sure. I made the video, and this was actually the very first time I introduced Mr. No Name to the thing as well. But anyway, she saw the video, and after looking at it, she said, "Man, you did such a great job with it. I wish there was a way we could be able to do something like that every week." And then the idea came to me about wanting to do newscasts because I've been doing videos for a long time now, and I've always wanted to get back into doing that. And so I gave her the idea of doing a weekly newscast, and I guess the rest was history, pretty much. And I kept doing weekly newscasts until I was asked to pull the plug on it about last year, I think. So, yeah.
Now here's an interesting question. How long did it take to make your first ever video project?
Wow. The very first ever video project I did was made way back in 2008. In fact, I'm going to show some clips as I'm answering this question, just so people will know. Yeah, I was in my I think I just started high school, and my special education teacher wanted me to I had a newscast project. and stuff. And so I was able, and I wanted to use that opportunity as a chance for me to teach myself how to operate a camera and stuff like that, so I can be able to do it. And then I was able to edit all that together, and I think that was really amazing. And actually, there's a song that that was also my first chance of ever singing a duet and singing a cover version of a popular song, "Don't Go Breaking My Heart," and then I'll get to that a little later in the show. But yeah, it was very fun. It was fun. It took me about roughly maybe because I had like one person doing the weather, another person doing sports and stuff like that, in addition to myself. So it took me about a couple days, I think, probably to put that all together, and then another day or two just to film it. So yeah.
Here's an interesting question sent in by a viewer. What's your favorite movie and why?
My Girl, definitely. I like My Girl. It's, for those of you who don't know what the movie's all about, it's about two young girl, a young girl and a young guy, just on their adventures. They're not like boyfriend girlfriend or anything like that. They're best friends. They spend some time together throughout the movie, and I like the movie simply because it's a fun movie, and it's really a touching story, and I really like it a lot.
Good. And finally, what country would you live in if costs weren't an issue, and why?
If I would have to say I would probably have to say France, probably, because I hear a lot of good things about France. I mean, everybody likes seeing. Of course, I like to be able to look at the Eiffel Tower and take a glorious boat ride down the river and stuff like that, and definitely, and of course, the only bad thing about it is I'd have to try to teach myself French, because I don't really know French that well. But yeah, if costs weren't an issue, I would definitely love to live in France.
That's good. Well, Jacob Pyle, thank you so much. When we return, Jacob Pyle sings this week's song of the week. But first, here is Jacob with Mr. No Name again, with this week's joke of the week.
Hey, Mr. No Name. Yes? Who earns a living driving their customers away? I don't know, Jacob. Who earns a living driving their customers away? A taxi driver. Taxi driver! Oh, that's a good one right there! I love it!
Coming in September, Altherr and Pyle will become Pyle and Company, with your host Jacob Pyle, along with Mr. No Name and an array of guest co-hosts, songs, skits, and lots of surprises. If you want more information, or if you want to be a guest co-host for Pyle and Company, inbox Jacob Pyle on Facebook. Send him an email at jtpyle1@aol.com, or leave us a note on our Facebook page. And don't forget to watch Pyle and Company beginning September 5th here on our YouTube page or on our Facebook page. And we'll all be looking forward to having you as a part of the company on Pyle and Company.
Welcome back. This song that I'm going to be doing today is one of my favorite songs. In fact, it was the very first song I've ever had the opportunity to cover, and the first ever duet I've ever had to do with my good friend Nicole Carnes. In fact, Nicole's going to sing the song with me. Yes, but just pretend she's here. Pretend that she is here doing the song with me, because she's not here. She's actually not here. But we're going to have a little bit of fun, and actually, this was the song that I covered on the very first video I did. So I want to roll that clip, and I'm going to use that clip to introduce the song. Hit it.
And now, me and Nicole are going to be singing Don't Go Breaking My Heart.
Don't go breaking my heart.
I couldn't if I tried.
Oh honey, if I get restless,
baby, you're not that kind.
don't go breaking my heart.
You take the weight off of me.
Whoa honey, if you knock on my door,
I gave you my key.
ooh, nobody knows it. Oh, when I was down,
I was your clown.
ooh, nobody knows it. Right from the start,
I gave you my heart. Oh, oh, I gave you my heart.
don't go breaking my heart.
I won't go breaking your heart. Don't go breaking my. Don't go breaking my.
Don't go breaking my heart. And nobody told us,
'Cause nobody showed up.
and now it's up to us, babe.
I think we can make it.
So don't misunderstand me.
You put the light in my life.
Whoa, you put the sparks to the flame.
I've got your heart on my side.
Ooh, nobody knows it. Oh, when I was down,
I was your clown.
ooh, nobody knows it. Right from the start,
I gave you my heart. Oh, oh, I gave you my heart.
don't go breaking my heart.
I won't go breaking your heart. Don't go breaking my. Don't go breaking my.
Don't go breaking my heart. Ooh, nobody knows it. Oh, when I was down,
I was your clown.
right from the start,
I gave you my heart. Oh, oh, I gave you my heart.
don't go breaking my heart.
I won't go breaking your heart. Don't go breaking my. Don't go breaking my.
Don't go breaking my heart.
I won't go breaking your heart.
Don't go breaking my heart.
I won't go breaking your heart.
Don't go breaking my heart.
Altherr and Pyle will return after this. If you want to watch more episodes of this show, go to www.altherrandpyle.weebly.com. And please don't forget to like our Altherr and Pyle Facebook page as well. Back to you, Denny and Jacob.
And now it's time for this week's final thought. Denny?
Whenever you hear of a new show coming on TV, most people usually will get excited. Whenever you hear of a new viral video on YouTube or a viral post on Facebook, you get excited for it. Well, we hope very well that you were just as excited as we are this week when we brought you Altherr and Pyle. Jacob and I have come from two different walks of life. I was a reporter on a newscast, a newspaper columnist. He was a video editor, a producer, and talented singer, and a terrific co-host. On my behalf, there were so many of you who remember me probably from my days working with Brett Kernett on a local Tipton County station, or whenever you heard of me or read my columns in the Kokomo Tribune or the Tipton Tribune. It gives me a great pleasure to be back doing the newscast again. And who knows what new adventures are ahead of me. But all we ask you to do is keep watching us. Stay tuned with us. Our goal and purpose of this program is not only to present our fair share of reports and news, but to keep you entertained by telling jokes, letting other people here within Tipton County share their talents with us, and keeping you informed.
There are so many people to thank on my behalf of this program as well. First to my good buddy, my co-producer, Weston Paget. Thank you so much for giving me my confidence back in doing newscasts when I was about ready to give up on doing newscasts. I'd also like to thank Maureen Arnold for giving me my start making videos for you guys. And as I always say, thanks to all of you. Without all of you, there would be no show. I hope you'll treat me and Denny the same as you treated me and the other co-anchors I had when I did the newscast for the youth ministry. This, I'm sure, is something new not just for Denny and I, but for you as well. But I think within time, we will all get better acquainted with ourselves, and who knows what the future has in store for all of us.
That's all the time we have for now for this edition of Altherr and Pyle. I'm Denny Altherr.
And I'm Jacob Pyle. Until next week, good night, and God bless my friends.
Altherr and Pyle has been sponsored by Quincy's Brass Band. For more information on how you can book them for your next event, go to www.quincy'sbrass.com. And by Second Blessing Thrift Shop in downtown Tipton, a Christian faith-based nonprofit organization that exists to provide practical and spiritual support to the citizens of Tipton County. This is Steve Brown speaking for Altherr and Pyle. This program has been pre-recorded.